Not going to use it. Not going to use it. Probably not going to use it. Let's see there. It's like hung up right there. Let me see here. I'll try. There we go. Alright. Oh. Let's see if it'll zoom. I'll have to go play with it on here. Let's see if I can put the settings and we'll get it to see if it looks a little better. Yeah, that ain't gonna make it come in any better. Whoa. It's 48. I'm not even. Okay, well.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's probably gonna lag a little bit. It'll be okay. I don't like this light. I don't know what the chat's saying. So we'll get into it. All right. That one's okay. We'll just do it like that. It looks like woo! No, thank you. Sorry, guys. That's the blinking. I'm trying to fix my lights the way I want them. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Turn everything off. And that's just going to have to do for right now. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. What we're going to do, sorry we haven't been on in a few days. We're dealing with things back and forth by, real life issues that have prevented us from being on here every day. But we're going to be coming back with a new way of how we're going to do things. And you're just going to have to, we're going to do a vote and see how you like the way our new idea is going to work. I'll try to explain it to you a little bit. Hello to everybody that's saying hello that we missed. We're a little behind, so we'll get to it here in just a second. But basically, the way we're going to start doing things is I'm going to tell you what's going on in the world. We're going to start with different headlines until the very end. We will have what our subject is about that we'll talk about. That way, we're able to cover more topics, world events, things like that. We'll have a discussion on them, but that way we're going to do things till the very end, and then it'll keep it more organized. We'll just say it that way. But I promised you that we were going to finish the deep dive on David Dotson. We found some more things, and I think y'all will like that. How do you like the picture we did? Do you like how I made the thumbnail? Do you like his frown? Let's see a vote on that. I was able to change his face on TikTok. There's another part of it. It's a big smile. Let me see if I can play that on here. Probably not. Let me see what everybody's saying. Oh, Charles Godwin. Oh, this guy again. Yay. I don't know if you mean that nice or bad, but it's good to see you too. I'm just playing. All right. Let me put my wallet there. And we had the interview pulled up from last time. What is Skilo saying?
Jacqueline, you're not green anymore because you're blue because you're a mod. But you're still a member, so you still got your little badge beside you.
So Skilo says this, Allie. And if he were here to attempt to obtain another position in any church and the admin of the organization were deterred by the lies that Cam tells, that would be easily proven. Stop lying. Nobody's lying, Skilo. Everything I've said that either speculation if it's speculation, fact if it's fact. We are going over the things that he said out of his own mouth on the Unmasked interview.
Right.
and then we're able to either put them together by what others have said or the actual timeline of events that happen.
Or just figure out discrepancies, whether they are his or somebody else's.
Skilo's just mad because she's on a team of people that think that they are above everyone else and that they know it all. It's ridiculous. So you can run back over there and have fun with them, Skilo. Tell them we said hi. Nobody's lying about anything. All right. Let me get that interview pulled up. I did want to show you one thing that I did put together, though. So on the maps, I figured out, where the areas were. Here's an overlook that's right near the North Carolina line that David Dotson took a lot of pictures of when he was out. It's a lot of his Facebook profile pictures are out on this overlook. It's called, you remember what the overlook was called? I got to pull it up here on maps and I'll show everybody. I'll find it real quick. I'm right here on it. What's going on here? Why are we logged out of everything?
We shouldn't be. What's this say?
You entered an old password. Why are we logged out of everything? That's weird.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be.
No.
Is that what it was? Hold on a second, guys. Let me mute this so I can get the password for this. Just a second. I'm going to play this for you guys while we figure this out for 1 second. Thank you. Let us know where you're from and let us know if you, let's see, where you're at, from where you're from in the world. And I can put a poll up in a minute on your thoughts on Mr. Dodson. Hold on 1 second.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away.
All right, guys. Thank you for waiting just a second. I had to fix this. We had to basically reset everything.
Yeah, I don't understand what happened.
Okay. There it goes. And
Yes.
hold on a second, guys.
It should be good now.
Okay. Just make sure he's okay. All right. There he goes. We're in there. All right, so the overlook place that he took a lot of pictures from, I was just playing around on the maps, and I found that, straight from Beach Creek Road to the overlook, you can go straight there, all back roads. And let me get the name of this overlook, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And if I'm not mistaken, these falls look pretty familiar too on the way. And you guys tell me if they're the same falls from the picture where Summer and Grandma and Candace and I think the boys and Allie, Hunter, and all them were at. Let me just get the name of this real quick. There it is. Okay. Driving from Sam's Gap. And he posted these pictures, and let me see if I can just share my screen real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. This is David Dotson's Facebook, and it's just strange to me because he went here multiple times. Looked to be different dates, and this is an overlook. It's right before, about 10 miles before you get to North Carolina. Now, we talked last time about how, okay, we're getting close to it, about how there were certain people that were tied to bringing David Dotson to the church, and Tim Mullen ends up being, knowing the person I'm talking about is Robin. She's the common factor in between knowing David Dotson, knowing Tim Mullen. He called her the bread lady. Well, he says the first thing, the first place he ever saw Robin or knew about her was at Fun Fest when Robin and Candace were carrying the banner through the parade. Well, on Easter, before Summer goes missing, David Dotson is streaming the seventh day, right? He's streaming it on his. I'm not sorry, not David Dotson. I'm sorry, Tim Mullen was streaming.
He shared somebody.
He shared the seventh. Yes, he shared somebody who was streaming
the Seventh Day Adventist Easter
play.
Yes.
At Warrior State Park, correct?
Right.
So,
it was just interesting because obviously he was aware of the church as of Easter of 2021, meaning he would have had to have seen Robin before, because we all know that Robin is active in the church. She provides music, and she
sung a lot. She was on stage a lot, and it would just lead me to believe that if he had seen that, he's familiar with the church to be sharing it, and he's probably seen Summer on there. So that it kind of bothered me. Why did he come out of nowhere
with this whole bread lady story?
The whole bread lady story, exactly. So we know that March in March is when David Dotson first went to the church. I think it was the 26th, 27th, and then April 1st is when they Robin uploaded his video for him on her YouTube channel.
Yes.
The video of him playing the flute. Now, we're going to play the rest of that interview, which is in the email, but I'm going to finish looking through this real quick. Let me see. That's his ex that had passed away. Not ex, but his wife that had passed away.
Right.
Prior to him meeting the wife that he has now. It's a sad thing. They moved here from Texas. And David Dotson was preaching in Texas as a Baptist preacher. And, he told during a service, after he played his Indian flute for a church service at the Seventh-day Adventist Church, he says, this is not a rumor, this is fact. He says that he had led his other congregations wrong, and that the Seventh-day Adventist way of believing was the way to believe. And we're going to listen to some stuff. There's another thing we found, a video of somebody who did the comparisons of different statements made through the whole case with Summerwells. Okay, that right there is hold on. That's the Dallas Institute of Funeral Services behind him. The Bill Pierce Award. Billy David Dotson Jr. See if we can get in there any farther. Look at that. Don't that look like that's weird. Anyway, so there's that. There's somebody right there that says, I'd give anything to find a preacher like you, Brother David. Miss you. From Texas. All right, here's the overlook. This is the same overlook, I believe, but this is 2017. Let's see. Back farther. See? Look. More overlook. 2016. Yeah. I don't know if this is the same one. Okay, so everybody wanted to say that those hands in the picture were of his daughter. That's his daughter. She's now 20, in her early 20s. And those hands, I'm sorry, but you can't convince me that those would be her hands in the picture coming out of the underneath the blankets. Do you?
And everybody kept saying, oh, that's his wife. His wife is his new wife. She's really tiny. No, this was posted in 2020. He did not meet his new wife until July of 2021.
She's not saying that this picture is. He's talking about
the hands.
The hands coming out could be his new wife. Well, he didn't know her till July of 2021. That's what Allie was getting to.
Yeah.
Okay. Saxophone. What's it say? How about sending this video? We'd love to hear it, miss. I just want to find that picture that describes where that's at.
Oh,
I got it.
I just had it pulled up.
What's it called?
You had it pulled up. Are you?
No, that's not it. It's the one that says it's something overlook. Is it Sam's Gap?
Yeah.
Sam's Gap Overlook?
It's in the comments of that picture.
Okay. Yeah, so Sam's Gap Overlook. We're going to go there. Let me pull up maps, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about and why this, it's strange to me. And you'll see why what I'm talking about.
He says it's about 10 miles before you get to North Carolina, driving towards North Carolina on Highway 26 at Sam's Gap.
Yeah. And I know where that's at. As soon as I pull this up, I should have something saved with it on Google Maps. I'll share it right here in a second. Go ahead and add some stuff because I know you know a lot too, Allie.
Well, First of all, I just want to say we're not saying that David Dotson is in any way, shape, or form guilty.
Please go watch part 1 if you haven't seen it. We're not implying, we're going over the things that he said that did not make sense. I'm putting
Because
some things
I'm
together.
sorry, there was a lot of things in that very first interview with Unmasked that did not make sense.
And I'm not going to keep you, if you want to see what we're talking about, go watch part 1, get caught up, and come back, and then you can see where we're going with this. Everything we're saying, we are very clear to be like, this was rumor. Now we believe this to be fact or hearsay, whatever it is. We're being very clear as to why we're saying it and why we're going over it. The fact of the matter is, the man joined the Seventh-day Adventist Church after only being there 3 months. It's like a week or so before Summer goes missing. I don't know the exact time, so don't quote me because it's not in front of me right now. He becomes a member of the church. He leaves as soon as Summer goes missing. He's out of there. He gets married and he's gone. Well, early on, there was a rumor or hearsay that the new wife of David Dotson, that she had a daughter that went missing. So we had somebody that helped do a lot of research with Gonzo, and I can't remember her.
She did a lot of
What was her organization called? Anyway, she has an organization. She looks into people and she reaches out to family members. She said, the best way to get information about something is to call maybe an ex of that person or an ex's new spouse, just to see if that rumor was true.
She said that an ex's new spouse would be the first person to discuss their husband's or wife's ex.
Right. So the reason that brought us to this to start looking into it is that the Seventh-day Adventist Church started offering either in 2020 or 2021 insurance for missing children. I have a live that covers that. We'll go try to find that while we're sitting here on this live. And then they started running drills that involved the congregation not knowing that they were running a missing child drill during a church service. And they would have a child go hide. They didn't even tell anybody. The child would go hide. And then they would go and alert certain people in the congregation that a child was missing, and to see how the congregation would react and if they could find that child. All right. Like I said, there's the insurance, there's that. And then we have David Dotson and Robin, and this is just the facts. So when Robin did an interview with Chris McDonough, she claims to have arrived at Ben Hill Road by herself after David Dotson did.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, David Dotson picked her up and rode out there with her.
According to what he says.
And so Robin says, while on the interview with Chris McDonough, well, David was already up at the house when I got there, and he had to come back down. That's not true. Nobody was let up to
the property, on the actual property.
And they didn't arrive till almost 9 p.m. on the 15th. So, yes. Now, this is another thing.
Niece, I agree. That is, it's very weird. I mean, I guess if you look at it in the sense of it's good to be prepared for everything, but still, what makes you think that you need to be prepared for a missing child? You know?
Right. And to offer insurance for
it, that's creepy.
It is creepy. Me. Now, his story, we're going to pick up where we left off as soon as I pull these Google Maps up and do what I'm doing here. I'm just going to do this for y'all. I'll share it in 1 second. Let me get it up here and going. Let me put there's satellite imaging, do directions. Sam's. There it is. All right, let it load for a minute. Let me go over here and see if it's actually going to let us look at it. What in the world? Okay, let's see. Add a destination. Okay, that's not it. I want to go this way to the scenic overlook. Let's see what this one is. Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to add this. I want y'all to look at this. All right, so right here, from where those pictures are taken, there's just, and I'll tell you why I was looking at it and why it's strange to me. Because he says that he had to get somebody to show him how to get out to the property at 110 Ben Hill on the unmasked interview. Well, there's also another recording somewhere. I think it's in that you were watching that we're going to show here in a little bit, that says that he had taken pizza allegedly. Now, this is in fact, I'm going over this because if he said this, then this would be very far from what he's saying, that he needed directions or somebody to take him out there. But that he took pizza up to the Wells house for the boys and for Summer earlier on. Well, if you look at the behavior panel, when they interview Don, when they first come to Tennessee, they really key in on David Dotson and the pastor. They say, does Summer spend a lot of time around David at the church? Don said yes. And not just on Saturdays during church service. He's like during the week.
Which is odd.
It was very odd.
Considering they just met him.
Yeah. But, and that's what I want to know. So why, early on, why hasn't anybody, why did Robin not want to say that she rode out to the property with David Dotson? She deliberately said that she went out there on her own. And the story was not correct at all. And it just leads you to wonder, why did she say that? Why did she say that David was up on the property when she rode with him? Okay. No, okay. What is it? Oh, okay. Someone pull up your family members' pictures and say things about it. I'm not saying that we're discussing them. And I'm not the one who got in the middle of a missing child's case. That was from the very beginning. Now we tried to help search for Summer, and we're just going over the statements and comments made. He went on YouTube channels. He did interviews, which opens him up for a discussion on what he said and what he didn't say and what read between the lines. So, Kingry, if that's how you say it, I'm sorry, but there's going to be, when there's still no answers to a missing now 6-year-old, now 7-year-old. Sorry, I misspoke. Now 7-year-old. She went missing when she was 5. You're going to look into everything and everyone more than one time, and you're going to go over everything they said and go back to the beginning where everything matters. So people that want to get on here and say that they don't agree that we look into their statements and things said and pictures that are taken, and I'm not the one that have pictures of hands sticking out of them. It doesn't make sense. Those look like children's hands.
Right.
Now, if he wants to explain that, oh my gosh. If you don't want to watch it, then get out of this live. You don't have to watch Okay. All right. Back to what I'm doing. And look, before we've had people act like other people's family members and come in and try to say they're people that they are and that they're not. If you think it's wrong, imagine that it's your family and your child that's missing. Would you not want to look at everybody? I'm sorry, I wouldn't care at all if people were looking. If I was in the position that David Dotson is in right now,
If a child at my church went missing,
shoot, go ahead.
100% say, please, I would let anybody do anything they needed to in order to help find that child. If I knew I had nothing to worry about, then what's the problem?
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought, Selah Rose of Sharon. She says, those are children's hands. Cam, I did digging into David Dotson even before he left the church and got married. Thank you. And it's not hard to look at them and tell that there are children's hands. And even though they might not be Summer's hands because they were taken in 2020 before he went to the church, are they another child's?
Right.
You don't know. These are things that are not, there's no explanation into the picture. It's zoomed in on so that you can see the hands even better. There's 2 takes of the picture, one of it regular and then another one zoomed in on, and no explanation of why there's 2 hands sticking out from under a blanket and him sitting there.
Yeah.
It's weird. Excuse me for thinking that, look, if people aren't going to look in, if Summer's family aren't going to do the deep dive and digging and asking questions, people need to be there for Summer to look into what possibly could have happened to her. I'm not going to feel bad for looking into details and comparing statements and I'm sorry, I'm not going to. I'm not saying that he's guilty of anything. I'm just saying these things don't add up. It's kind of strange.
Right.
He went and took the boys out to putt-putt.
Yeah.
He offered to do that. Did he have to have directions that day to get back out there? Because believe me, it's not just easy to go find your way out there even after just one time. You probably have to have directions again.
Especially if you're not familiar with the area.
Okay, Lady R2O says, David Dotson and him taking pics of the children who are branded with tattoos and sold in Egypt on his Facebook was very strange to me, or creepy to me. We're going to go back and look at that too. I just got to those Egypt pictures right before. Yeah, Arthur. Let's see what he said. Arthur Blake, I agree with you. The same here. And we have done that. We went over there and looked all around those properties. We went up to the top of the Fields Road, to the top of where Chimney Top is. And there's supposed to be a fire tower up there. Well, it's on down on another road that goes up through there. We looked anywhere and everywhere as much as we could where we could have permission to go.
I will tell you, there was a child, it was a runaway child in our town years ago. This was probably 5-6 years ago. And she had allegedly been seen in our neighborhood. Cops showed up at our door and I said, sure, come on in. And they came straight in my house and I let them look at everything because I'm not going to stand in the way of a child being found.
Exactly. So this is Painter Creek Falls. I want y'all to look at, these aren't the same ones that I think. Are they? Let me see. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, because right there's where it does that little.
Right here's the overlook. Or are they down here? Let's see. No, that's right. is that? Oh, Jake Phillips posted July 2021. Okay, well, we got to find some other pictures of this. I know there was more.
There was, because there was a picture from the Outlook, wasn't there?
Good for kids. Let's see. It seems that though the public land has been sold and is now private property, about a half mile from the old trailhead. Beautiful area. Now, let's see. Overview. Pictures. Add photos and videos. No. Where is that now? Let's see. Well, I don't know how to get to the other pictures here. My wife in the mountains a year ago, it says. Photos. It's just that one. Here it is.
Yeah, it's just that one.
Well, that's not how it was. You remember?
No, there was one specifically from the Overlook. Was there not?
There was from Overlook. No, that's not the Overlook. The Overlook's down here.
Okay.
I'm talking about the picture where Summer and them were at the falls. It's on the way here. Is what I'm talking about.
There was more pictures of the
Paint Rock, Del Rio, Wolf Creek. I'll find it. There's Mohawk Moss Island. This is the same area. This is where I found the other one. Let's go in a little farther. Maybe that'll help. Horse Creek Recreational Area.
right there at Painter Creek Falls.
No, that's the one I was at.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if let's go up here real quick. Crockett first. Okay. Limestone, Chucky, Afton. And then this takes you all the way up to Van Hill Road and all that. I'm going to go ahead and... So here's Hills Tree Service, and then there's 110. There you go, guys. I'm just showing you how of a drive it is down to this place down here. Hour and 31 minutes. I mean, that's not really far at all.
No.
Screw it. I'm not even going to go over this part. We'll go. Stillbridge Falls. Is that them?
Maybe.
No. Dude, where is that picture? That is crazy. That's the Tennessee and... It's just saying that died November 9th. Are we still going?
Yeah.
All right, I'm done with that. We're going to go back to the interview now, just so we can get into things. That's kind of made me mad.
Yeah, he played part of the unmasked video on the last live, and we're going to finish that up tonight.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and finish that right now. Turn the camera back. All right, let me get back to that interview. Now, think if there were some things that you had added that I forgot, and I was wanting you to go over that, if you can remember. Okay, now we read over on the if you go back to the first part too, it's a part that actually Carl from Enchanted Life Path had wrote out asking questions on Robin's YouTube channel.
We weren't aware that Robin had a YouTube channel, and she's had this for a while. You know, it's not like a big channel or anything like that. It's just like where she was posting videos from the church and just little, you know, her own personal videos and things like that. And yeah, so there is a video that was uploaded April 1st of 2021, and it is a song that was written and I guess played on the Indian flute by David Dotson, and then she had put pictures and things to it and uploaded it onto her channel. And actually, yeah, Carl had had posted a big long comment. And
What?
do I even say it?
You can.
He made sense. Might be the first time anybody's heard that on our channel.
Right. Here, let me.
It was just interesting because of the fact that literally David had showed up. Well, the first time he had ever went to the Seventh-day Adventist Church, like Cam said earlier, was March 27th, 2021. And then this was uploaded, not even 4 or 5 days later?
Yep.
So that leads you to kind of believe that maybe David and Robin knew each other before David ever came to the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Right. I can't find that from even. Oh my gosh.
What can't you find now?
This is killing me. Yeah.
Here.
You gonna send it again? I mean, I can just do this. I mean, it's probably next right here. What is your cat doing?
How did he get in here?
I don't know. Just
Okay. Okay. Here.
You gonna send it?
Yeah.
All right, good. This will be easier. She's gonna send us that link again, and then you're gonna send me the other one too.
We had everything
Organized. Not today.
The other day for that live.
And look, people want to come over here and want to hate. That was probably somebody sent by Skilo or somebody saying, "How dare you talk about David Dotson?" Well, how dare we talk about anybody? Everybody's on board till they're not on board. They were cool with us sharing things on other people when we did our research. I'm talking about Skilo and those other channels. Then they want to make up and say that I shouldn't have showed a chart that she made of my research. And I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm not putting on it. People are crazy. It's always trying to argue over something dumb. All right, here it is. I hope it'll take us back to the place we left off here. Yeah, it is. Why is it not muting? Thank you. Hold on, guys. I'm getting ready to share this for you.
And this is just so heartbreaking, and the family has been attacked, and with a lot of the negativity and the boy. And she came back out. I just don't know.
Has any of the neighbors did they see anything? They hear anything? Any of the neighbors?
She came back out. I just don't know. She confirmed that with me, because that was one of my things. So I don't know if Summer went in there and the boys were playing, that she came back out. I just don't know.
Has any of the neighbors did they see anything? Did they hear anything?
So right here, everybody, I want to make sure that we pinpoint this part, and I'm going to go back to it. Right here, he says that Candace confirms with him that it was 20 minutes in between her going over and helping her mother and then going over and finding that Summer was gone. So listen to this real quick.
So I don't know if she confirmed there, and Summer down there. But as far as one of the sons did tell that the door was locked while she was down there. One of the so with that, the front door was the only way in or out.
And can she reach that lock down there, or does she know how to unlock it?
That I do not know. I've not actually been in the basement myself. I don't know how it's set up down there. But as far as one of the sons did tell me that the door was locked while she was down there, and Summer's mom, she confirmed that with me, because that was one of my things. So I don't know if Summer went in there and the boys were playing, that she came back out. I just don't know.
Has any of the neighbors, did they see anything? Did they hear anything?
As far as to my knowledge, no. And the way that the house is, it's kind of secluded away from the road. It's actually up on like a little hill, and it's surrounded by very thick woods.
Let's go over that part right quick. Then, did the neighbors hear anything, to your knowledge? Well, if Jody Sue would have been telling the truth, which we know she doesn't do, she said that she told Candace about that the evening that Summer went missing, that she heard the scream and this and that and the car door of the van and then blah 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 blah. Yeah, right. Well, we know that but Jody Sue, you're keeping plugging this right here. We know that Jody Sue and Dawn had a showdown on Prayer Garden the other night. The first thing Jody Sue says is about land. Well, Sherfy and the Mocks were supposed to have your land down there. And he goes, are you talking about the guy that had all the child pee on his phone? And she goes, oh, Dawn, you're racist. She's scared.
Well, because he did start using a very derogatory word.
Yeah, he did use a bad word, but she didn't. She went ahead and she didn't want to talk about that no more. Now that he knew who
basically
Sherfy Jr. was.
With Jody Sue, it all comes down to land and property, which is weird.
Charles Godwin says there's no old wells or cisterns. Well, on that property, there might be an old well, but the wells that you're talking about there's a pipe in the ground, about a 3-inch pipe, and they stick a camera down it, a snake camera, and they looked. They were checked multiple times
by multiple agencies.
Multiple times by the old house, which is the gray siding building, the house where they were currently staying, and then the house or grandma's camper, and then there's another one down at the lower property where the shed is. Now I'm going to talk. Right, and we're going to talk about one thing real quick about the coat that was found in the box at Kathy the friend's house. Okay, do you think for 1 second that law enforcement or the car team did not see that jacket first and foremost? They had the picture of Summer on the milk jugs. Now, if you remember, lead detective Pruitt says we've been over all digital evidence, all GPS, all anything to do with cell phones, what's it, Starlink and all that stuff.
All the digital evidence.
And he said, we found nothing. Now, people want to run and say, well, Dawn said that their phones were erased after 3:00. The reason their phones are erased because they take all that from that time period on.
Right.
That way people can't change their story up. They can't look back at what they said, all that.
Right.
So, of course, their phones and everything were taken, everything was wiped from 3:00 on. It's crazy. But as far as the coat goes, when she went missing on the Amber Alert, it says she went missing in a pink t-shirt, gray pants, sweatpants.
Pink shirt, gray pants.
Pink shirt, gray pants.
Possibly
barefoot.
Doesn't say anything about the jacket.
The jacket would not be a good source for a scent because it would be
contaminated.
Contaminated with different people's scents. She was in the truck with Hunter, Grandma, and Candace. That's a contaminated source. That wouldn't be that strong if she wasn't wearing it, but yet they get the source for the scent from a shoe with a sock in it, allegedly, which the dogs follow, and then they alert on one of her alleged prints on Mr. Phillips' property on the 19th of June.
One of the best places, or one of the best articles, I should say, to gather a scent would be inside of a shoe or a sock.
Exactly.
Because most, think about a child's shoe. When you put their shoes on them, even if you have to put, like as a parent, you have to put their shoes on them, you're not really touching the inside of that shoe much.
Right.
If at all. So basically, that child's foot is the only scent that's really going to be in there. Plus, it's hot. They're going to be sweating.
If that outfit came from a yard sale, if that's true too, then it's got other people's scent on it.
So that's just the shoe and sock is probably your best bet for getting an uncontaminated source.
So people are saying the jacket would be it's not going to be a great scent. It would be contaminated from all the people that
even just being in the truck, in grandma's truck, she's going to have grandma's scent on that jacket. Plus that jacket laid in the in grandma's truck. It was in grandma's truck before.
Yeah, it was inside. They just put it on her after she got out of the water at Warriors.
They just happened to have that outfit in the vehicle.
And she had a lot of stuff in her vehicles.
Yes.
Because she's one of those people that keep a lot of things.
Yeah. So therefore it would smell probably more like grandma than Summer.
And we know from the beginning of this case that the TBI took articles of clothing, bags of clothing out of the house as evidence, right?
Right.
They took a lot of stuff.
A lot, yeah.
Besides what just Dawn and them said, they did take articles of clothing. I think it might be on TBI on their question board.
I think so.
I think that's where that's at. So,
yeah, Hunter's scent would have been on it because if she had that jacket on while they were sitting at Priceless Foods.
That same person is saying you are aware that David. And I said, yes. I'm very empathetic to his loss of his wife from lung cancer. That has nothing to do with this. That's neither here nor there. Why, if he's going to say that he told his old congregation, Kingray, however you want to say it, if he told his whole congregation that he had taught them wrong by the Baptist way, and the Seventh-day Adventist way was to go, why become a member and then leave?
And go back to a Baptist church.
Yeah, go back to the Baptist faith. 2, the reason that we're keying in on is because Robin is one of the big key players in this. She's very close to Summer. She rode with David that evening, then says on an interview with Chris McDonough that David got there first. And that's not true. They got there at the same time.
Patty's hunches and inklings actually, according to what has been stated, TBI has seen proof of life of Summer being where they said she was on June 15th. Therefore, a lot of people had theories that she might have went missing before June 15th, but that could not be true because
the deputy stated it had to have been between the time of the 19th and the 15th that scent and that footprint was left. Now think about this. If we wouldn't have got that scent probably from the sock inside of a shoe, they might not have alerted on her footprint. They did follow the scent down the driveway to the road where it vanished, not the dog trail, as Dawn overheard searchers say. So, I don't know. We're going to get into some more stuff too.
Lady R, exactly. The jacket, in my opinion, I never thought that it had blood on it.
That's a shadow.
It looks like a shadow. But a lot of people seem to believe that there was blood on that. Obviously, it would not have been in that box at Kathy's house if it had blood on it. I'm pretty sure that they would have disposed of it.
Yeah. And another thing is that there was the New York City head coroner
Yes.
Barbara Butcher is her name. She was on Duty Ron's and went over the picture with the milk jugs, and she goes over every part of this. I believe she said it was shadow.
Yes.
She said that child is not passed away in that picture. Her nail beds look like she's alive. She's
they
asleep.
were dirty, she said.
She said just dirty. Now, there was a lot of pictures that were put out that were photoshopped early on.
Yes.
And people ran with those.
And yeah, Lawson did say that the boys saw Summer that afternoon. Yes.
Yeah.
From what I gather from what TBI said, they obviously had video footage of Summer somewhere that day.
Yeah. Well,
and we know that
we got the one we're first in Warriors playing.
Well, but no, I mean from like a store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said they have seen proof of life that she was alive and with them on June 15th.
Yeah. Well, it's probably the store that they said that she was in there with Candace.
Yep.
I don't know. And
they have quite a few cameras in that store.
Both tobacco outlets. We went and followed the same timeline that day. Beside the Sonics was so busy you couldn't get in there to really talk to anybody. But we drove around there. We followed the whole timeline. There is 2 smoke shops, the one beside the hippie house and one that's on Fort Henry. It's the orange one. If you go back in our video section, you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, I'm going to play this a little further so we can go over some more.
So it's, out here, your closest neighbor might be, 50 yards to you. So it's really, it's not like when you're in the city, your neighbor's house is, just a few foot from yours. So it's a very secluded area.
So if she was, oh, go ahead.
Nope, you got it. Go.
If she was able, if the basement door was locked, and the only other way would be the front door, where is the front door facing? Would they be able to see her?
The way the front door faces, I mean, if for example, if Candace was outside and even her mother was outside, if they had their backs turned, I mean, there's a good possibility they could not have seen her walk out.
Right.
So one of the things I just want to back up just a second. So
I will agree with his statement there. You hear what he said? It is very possible if their backs were turned and they were up at the camper, that somebody could, or she could walk out the door and be gone.
Absolutely.
Very true. We showed that. She stood at the camper right at that same spot, and it shows me, you can barely see me.
Barely his shoulders up.
11 seconds.
Yeah, 11 seconds is the only amount of time that I was able to see him. So think about a 5-year-old who is significantly shorter than a 6-foot man.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to see them if they wander off. And if somebody wanted to hide down through there, they very easily could have. You all also saw the pictures of Cam, who was on the other side, maybe 10 feet away from me?
10 feet.
On the other side of the brush there at their house. And
you could hear me talking, but you can't see me. And that's right on the edge of the driveway.
And he had on a bright blue shirt, and you could not see him at all. Where's it at? Golden. So, okay, when he says smoke shop, we're not talking about the hippie house. She did not take her in the hippie house where they sell, like CBD products and things like that.
The tobacco outlet's like a gas or convenience store.
Yeah, they sell cigarettes, yes, but other than that, they sell snacks, they sell drinks. It is exactly like if you were to stop at a gas station, only they do not have gas pumps outside.
Right.
So she did go in there, but she did not go in.
Well, when we were checking out and we talked to the person, is that what you just said?
No,
the store clerk. Well, the store clerk, I have it on video. You can go back and look at that video set. And our video section as well. We went and talked to the clerk at that store, and she said that her boss told her that Candace, the mother, was in the store and Summer was in the store with her on the 15th.
Yes.
And we asked if she said her boss told her. Now that's hearsay, but we made sure to get that on.
And at this point, we were in the tobacco outlet that was not talked about because we were under the impression that that's the one that they had went to, which come to find out they did go to that one. However, if you listen to to Candace talk and to Hunter talk with Chris McDonough, they talk about the other tobacco.
It's the one on Fort Henry. It's orange.
The orange one. We were in the white one at this point. So then after we realized that we were not in the one that they were talking about, we talked to Grandma and to Candace, and we found out that they did go to both discount tobacco stores that day.
That's right. Hey, Sarah Lee, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Okay. Now, see, that's the thing. If you listen to last week's, David Dotson says that Candace told him 20 minutes. So the 2-minute thing on her timeline, it would make sense with the 20-minute.
Right. Now,
that she was in the camper with her mom.
I do not know why Candace has always stuck with that 2-minute thing. I know around here, and I don't know how it is at other places. I know around here, we say all the time, hey, I'm going to run out here to the car. I'll be back in like
I'll be
2
back
minutes.
in a minute.
Yeah, I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to run over to the store. I'll be back in 5 minutes. And you're gone like 30 minutes or an hour, right?
Yeah.
But when she said 2 minutes, she committed to it.
She did, and that's weird.
And it's very weird.
We say shortly, and we'll be back here.
Cam says everything is yesterday, even if it was like 3 weeks ago or like a year ago.
It's yesterday to me.
Yeah, he says, I saw them yesterday. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You ain't seen them in 6 months.
All right, let's go on with this.
So when she watched Summer walk into the house, and then approximately 20 minutes later, she had gone back, helped Grandma with the knee brace and whatnot. So did you say 20 minutes later? I just want to make sure I got that time right.
Yeah, I believe that's what she told me.
Okay.
Because when I asked her how long she'd been missing, she said it had been about 20 minutes. But and I'm almost positive that's what she told me. And of course, I'm giving my statement to the TBI and everything. They were
right.
They were like, "Hey, we need for you to give a statement. Why are you here?"
Yeah.
So
how'd you get here? What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. And I was more than happy to give my statement to them.
Did she say like that her and Grandma like went out and walked around and looked for Summer? Did they call for Summer?
Yes, they did.
Hey, we need to get your statement. Why are you here?
Yeah.
When was that?
I'm assuming on June 15th when he came to the house.
At 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Why are you here?
Why are you here? Yeah. Okay.
They did walk around and call, and the boys were looking for her. And as far as I don't know what time frame that they looked for her, and then called the police. That I don't know what that time was. And that might have been that 25 minutes that she told me. That might have included them walking around looking for her, because when I asked her, I said, "Hey, have you called the police, and how long has she been missing?" And she said, "Yes, that we have called the police, and she's been missing about 25 minutes."
That's kind of what I was wondering, because that kind of goes along with what she had said to us as well, is that she, sent her inside. A couple minutes later, she found she was missing, and we walked around looking for her. So
right. So that's what I was thinking. Probably that 25 minutes is probably included in when they were looking for her. Would be my thought.
Are they still actively searching on the ground for her?
No, ma'am. They are not.
That's disheartening. But
he most definitely did not say while you are here. He said, "Why are you here?"
Yeah.
I will go back if we must. Give me just a second.
For her. So
Right. So that's why I was thinking probably that 25 minutes is probably included in when they were looking for her. Would be my thought. That might have included around looking for, because that 25 minutes that she told me, that might have included them walking around looking for, because when I asked her, I said, "Hey, have you called the police, and how long has she been missing?" And she said, "Yes, we have called the police, and she's been missing about 25 minutes."
that's kind of what I was wondering, because that kind of goes along with what she had said to us as well, was that she, sent her inside. A couple minutes later, she found she was missing, and we walked around looking for her. So
right. So that's why I was thinking probably that 25 minutes is probably included in when they were looking for her. Would be my thought.
Are they still actively searching on the ground for her?
No, ma'am. They are not.
That's disheartening. But I mean, I know they covered so much. Where else do you go? To which direction do you go? I know there's a stopping point, but I don't want them to ever stop.
Yeah, I know. And it's this is just so heartbreaking, and the family has been attacked, and with a lot of the negativity, and that's the last thing they need. So when y'all reach out to them, and there's been a lot of people who are supporting them, and they really need that. They need to know that, hey, there are people out here that care for Summer, and that care for them. And they know there's a lot of mean people out here too. And we're talking about a 5-year-old little girl. We're talking about a family that is just destroyed, and they are crushed in spirit. But people want to say stuff like, because they want something to talk about, and they got to remember, hey, we're looking at they take out the human factor. And this is just not something we sit around at supper talking about. This is a 5-year-old little girl who has disappeared, and her family is distraught. And so this family needs everyone's support. And again, they want me to tell y'all, thank you so much for
absolutely
what you're doing. And
no, this is the least we can do. I mean, I would do so much more if possible, because
Hold on, Allie has something. Hold on. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we know that he doesn't have anything. We're not sitting
here saying that David has a record. There's
No.
lots of people that do bad things
Think
that don't have
about
records.
this, okay? I know that this is not.
We're not saying he did bad things.
No,
I'm just saying, but
we're
that's
not.
true
But you
too.
have to look at everybody. If you really want to talk about people not having a record, look at Brian Koberger, okay? He has no record, but right now he's sitting in jail. He is allegedly the person who unalived 4 people in the middle of the night in a house. No record.
It has a extensive, education.
Education, yeah. So you can't always go by that. And people who have records aren't always going to do something that is that as bad as abducting a child or unaliving somebody.
It's true. Just most of the time people get caught up for stupid reasons, or they're in a situation that isn't necessarily what they were charged with, because you have to really look into the details of people that get charged. Sometimes the court system, our great court system, which I'm being sarcastic with, takes advantage of people, and they don't know their rights, and they plea out to something that they should have fought. And by pleading out, you get found guilty. So it's, if you haven't been through the court system and you don't understand it, you don't ever want to be, I can assure you.
Mm-mm.
Let's move on, keep carrying on with this. Is there anything from that part? I tried to go back and find where he said that, but I'll just go back farther. I'm not even worried about it, so I know what he said.
Yeah.
Right. So we're just going over and we're going to match up to what he says. Send that other video you found comparing statements. So we'll pull that up next.
Cases that you get like super attached to, and there's other cases that you follow. And from me personally, I can't stop. I just want to know where she is. I want to know she's safe. I'm not convinced that she's gone. I want her home safe.
Yeah, that's that's how we all feel. We have hope, and we know that that all things are possible with Christ. Very, very devout Christians, and we are not going to give up. And we just want Summer home. We want her home with her family, and we look forward to the day where she's running up and down those aisles again at her church and helping us sing and lead singing with us. And we're not giving up hope, because we know that all things are possible with Father God.
Absolutely. Do you think, and this is going to be kind of a tougher question, but obviously the people are hard on the parents because statistically, when something happens, it is, a close family member. It is a parent when it's a child that goes missing. You know them, and I know you haven't known them a long time, but do you feel like in their presence, because to me that's a bigger thing, is like when you're in their presence, do you feel that that's something that they could have done, or that this little girl is out there and somebody has her?
I honestly feel that they did not have anything to do with it. I honestly feel that they had nothing to do with Summer's disappearance. And just seeing that, a lot of people deal with stress and grief differently. Candace's mom is very quiet, and people have accused her because she's not showing a lot of emotion. But they forget that here you have a mother who probably hasn't slept in 3 weeks.
I'm sorry, I got to argue something. How did he become the spokesperson for this family
when he had not known them long at all?
Right. We're not saying he did anything bad. We're just
No.
comparing. I'm not fighting with that person anymore. Anyway, also, what I was going to say is, as far as, what was it they just brought up? Oh, Grandma is not quiet. She's not a quiet person. Do you think so?
No.
She's not quiet. I don't know where he got that. She might not be speaking publicly, but she's not quiet when you're up there.
And maybe he meant like as far as like with, because he was talking about his emotions and like dealing with things. Maybe he meant like with that she keeps it to herself.
Maybe.
But
I don't know.
I don't even know about that, because honestly, those many times when she would be upset with different things going on like,
oh Lord,
that she would pull me to the side just to kind of talk about it, So I don't know.
Hold on one second, guys. Somebody, let me go back to this. I can't stand when people message me during the live stream.
And who hasn't eaten, and who has cried her eyes out to where there is no tears left. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have Dad, who is just bawling every day, who is just totally distraught, and you see the anguish in his eyes, and you just see their hearts crushed, even though their physical appearance appear 2 different ways. They're still grieving. But in my opinion, I really don't think they had anything to do with Summer's disappearance.
One thing I will 100% agree with you on, and as we've covered these cases for a long time now, people do not all grieve the same way. And the family members of people that have lost people to traumatic events, when they tell their stories about how they go on every day, it's very similar to what Candace and Don are doing. That the hurt is on the inside; it's not always on the outside.
Right.
So, I think that we have to take that.
Thank you, Fizzle, for letting us know that. Somebody go ahead and block Kingry out of here. They're a troll. That's not, I told you that was, I know what camp they're from, Fizzle. We'll talk after this. I know exactly what camp they're from. I told you guys at the beginning, this idiot right here was not who they said they were. Bye-bye. They're blocked. They're gone. Let's finish with what we're doing. All right.
As a grain of salt at this point, because we aren't inside their home. We don't see what they do when they're in the dark alone. We see them, we see pictures of them when they're out with the boys trying to have fun, and
Right.
And mom's not sitting in a corner crying because their boys are there.
And that's
she still has other kids to take care of. She has to be strong for them.
Absolutely. That's what several, folks, that's what we've been doing. We try to take the children out just to kind of try to get their mind off everything that's going on, because they're still hearing, on the radio, they're hearing, if you have any information on Summer Wells, they're hearing their little sister on the TV, and it's just constant. And and at that first week and a half, the search dogs were out there, and the FBI and TBI, they were all out there. So we got together and we were like, well, let's try to do something for them. Take them, to play putt-putt golf or a trampoline park or something of that nature.
I did see you take them putt-putt golfing. I thought that was pretty cool. They looked like they were having a good time.
They did it. They had never played putt-putt before. It was their first time, and then people would start. I'm 52 years old. Hey, if you want to pick on me and say, hey, why are you trying to take them out to play putt-putt golf? Well, I'm trying to take them out because I care for them. And but you don't say bad stuff to the boys. I mean, they are children. You
right.
Say what you want to me, I'm fine, but don't attack the children about it.
How are the boys doing?
We saw them today. We actually took them to the aquatic center here in Kingsport, and they love swimming, and they're doing good. They're doing good. They miss their sister. Do
you think they understand like what's actually happening? They're young. I mean, they're what, like 12, 11, 9-ish, they're not.
They are young. I think, with children, sometimes, hey, it hits them, and then like a couple of minutes later, like they're playing. So they realize, you can see, especially the middle son, he is very, he's kind of more reserved and everything. Of course, the younger one, they all miss their sister, but it's like they'll talk.
Hold on. Did you notice that? Now, he could either be trying to be respectful of their names, but I would think that he would, I don't know. Maybe he just wouldn't want to say their names out loud, but I'm sorry. I think that by going out and knowing him, being in church with him, and this is the thing too. Don was there for how many years at this church too?
2.5, something like that.
He wasn't a member of the church. And the biggest problem I had with this church is they didn't rally around that family whatsoever. The pastor went to either one or two vigils, and that was it.
Like the weekly vigils that they were having. And I don't care how they felt about the Wells. I know that the Wells might not have fit in exactly the way that maybe others in the church did.
They were there pretty often.
Yeah. And I know just from my experience growing up in church, and when things happen, it doesn't matter if you are somebody that's there a couple times or if you were there consistently, usually that church will rally around you. And actually, sometimes churches that aren't even, that you're not even a part of, will rally around you and try to, be there for you.
Right. And yet, Fizzle, David did become a member of the church. If that's who you're saying you don't know, you think he frequented. No, he was a member. And then when Summer went missing, he gets involved, talks. The part that I think you came in late, but, Robin says in her interview with Chris McDonough that David Dotson was out at that property first and then had to come down from the top of the hill, where she rode with David Dotson out there that night. We talked about the insurance for missing children. We know that there's a foster care. We have foster care through the Seventh-day Adventist that they oversees foster children. We've heard, where was it, the reports of the person saying that they only cared about trying to get her to sign over her rights to her child? Where do we see that? Went to help at the Hope House.
I think so.
Somebody said they went to get help for the Hope House from the Hope House, and they only cared about trying to get her to sign over her parental rights to them. Summer, if she comes in, Robin says, and I'll tell Robin this to her face. We've been friendly with her for a long time, and but these are things that have to be answered for Summer. There's a missing child. It's not about friendship, it's about finding Summer.
And I think Robin would agree.
Yeah, Robin would agree. Now, why did she say that the first time she noticed Summer's haircut was Mother's Day?
Right.
When it was before that.
Since at least around Easter.
Yeah, around Easter.
Yeah. Had they not been to the church between Easter and Mother's Day?
She says the red truck had been found because
right,
they got
and she
one.
Marked them off on all those flyers.
Marked the red truck off on all the flyers. There's a lot, man. Let's keep going, and then I'm gonna see how much longer this one is, and then we're gonna pull up the comparison of statements made. And I'm gonna give you a heads up on this next video before we get. This woman calls people weird names in it.
Yeah, and she doesn't get names right.
She calls Hunter Peaches.
Yeah, and I never had heard of this channel before today, but she does point out some discrepancies, so it's good.
When did Don get back from Utah? Rebecca made us. You talking about when Jose was in? He came back October the 7th, 14th. 14th when he went to jail.
Was it?
Yes.
So then, yeah, it was
the 7th.
The 7th. It was the
7th. I think that's when they said. I don't know. We'll look it up. Okay, here we go. I've not seen
about ready for her to come home, and then they're like, then they're little boys, and they want to go play, and people look at that, and I'm thinking they're children,
right?
And I'm not a child psychologist or anything of that nature.
But you're a dad.
But I'm a dad, and I know how of course my children are grown now, but I know how they were when they were that age. And,
yeah, mine are approximately that age, and they just want to go and have, and they want, that age, everything's about them too. You know what I mean? So they want it to be about them, and having people like you that want to help, it gives Don and Candace some time to process what's actually happening as an adult.
Absolutely, and we just want to, want to do what we do. Obviously, we wish we could all be out there, roaming the woods, trying to find that. We don't all have the ability to go out and and to put things on.
Thank you, Killer Looks, for saying that. Coincidentally, he said the Baptist church he left has a record and busted for trafficking the youth group leader there.
I was looking into that today.
So that
I
is
need,
accurate, isn't it?
I need to look into that some more because that it was.
We're going to say it's
stated-
hearsay for right
Right.
now. I'm not going to say it's fact yet, but we're going to look into that and see if that's true because we brought that up on the last one.
It was talked about a lot early on, though.
Yeah, very, very much so. Because the Tennessee, the TBI busted a church right before Summer went missing.
Well, it wasn't a whole church. It was just a
Youth pastor,
ring
a ring of youth
of-
pastors, coaches.
of just a bunch of dirty people.
Yeah,
And one happened to be a youth pastor that went to this church. So
true. All right, we'll continue now. I'll be quiet.
I think you are doing a wonderful, wonderful service here, and it's people like yourselves, you know, that are using the talents that God has given you. It's people like yourselves that we are going to find Summer, and
Keep her face up there.
we are going to find her.
Do you know, David, are they allowing the community to search yet? I mean, we have, I can't even tell you the amounts of people that are ready to go and like be boots on the ground and start walking that terrain themselves to see what, you know, if they can help. Are they allowing that yet?
Well, at first they were not.
Right.
Like I said, the terrain is
Good night, hair curlers.
it is
Ron,
so
thank
thick.
you.
And it's so rocky and it's so dangerous. I mean, you're dealing with snakes and all kind of stuff out there. And so the folks, the sheriff's department, they were saying, hey, they were discouraged in that. Obviously, they didn't want volunteers out there who had never been involved in search to maybe miss something or even damage evidence. But since they are no longer searching, I myself have not seen anyone out there searching. I know the other night I spoke with Candace and Dawn, and they said they saw some people walking with flashlights through the woods. So they don't know who those people were. They just saw the flashlights, and then they saw the flashlights walking off. But as far as I know, there's not really been.
When was this recorded? Let's see.
it was early.
Let me check this
Early,
out.
early.
90,000 views on this one. Wow.
And it's not been public for a long
A
time.
long time. Let's see here. July 9th, 2021. So the main search ended on the 28th of June. So it was a 13-day search. This is July 9th. And he says that they saw people walking through the woods at night with flashlights. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be searchers. I don't know.
remember that
Tim,
happened. It was early.
it was. That's true. Here we go.
A community organization or an organized search party sent out at this time.
Melissa, when we reach out about if we can donate, can you also ask about that and see if they're allowing a search, a community search party to go out yet? Or maybe if they have any idea of a timeline that they want to, because I'm telling you, there's so many people that are in that area that are ready to go and search right now. So have you spoke with David? Have you spoke with Grandma Candace? And how is she doing?
I spoke with her today. She is very quiet. She'll just break down, and she is verbal. She does speak, but you can tell that she just has that. She just has that grief in her eyes because she has a daughter who has been missing, I believe, for about 11 years now. And
right.
She went missing, I believe it was up in Wisconsin, and they have never found her either. So she is, and that's another thing. A lot of bad things are being said. So it says, with this going on with Summer, of course, this is, opening up wounds from the past too. And I can't imagine what they're going through. I can, just having your child disappear and not knowing.
So she's now lost her child and her grandchild.
Exactly.
And you may not be able to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Sure.
Is a lot there? So Grandma Candace had a hurt knee, and had gone to the emergency room on the day that Summer went missing. There was a lot of people talking about her being able to plant flowers. Do you know anything about like how Grandma's knee is, and was she actually planting flowers? Can you help with that speculation at all?
You know, I've seen her. I know when she walks, she does limp. Okay, but as far as I haven't really heard him. You know, have heard that. You know, people. You know, saying, oh, how she can plan if she has a hurt knee. And now
Right.
that I don't know anything about her going to the emergency room that day that Summer went missing.
Okay.
Yeah, that I'm not. This is the first time that I've heard this.
Oh, okay.
That is very strange.
That was one of the first things that was stated.
That is one of the first things even talked about.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason they were out and about that day, because she was at the hospital.
That could have been too where the TBI could have got footage of Summer.
Hospital?
Yeah.
True.
Because there are cameras in the parking lot.
But okay, so there's some people talking about some stuff. An SDA tattoo. I'll tell you what his tattoos. I went over them in the first live about him. He has a Psalms 91:11 tattoo, and the verse says, can you look that up for me real quick?
What was it? Sorry.
Psalms 91:11 or 91:10 is one of his tattoos on his arms, and that Bible verse says, let me see what it looks like. Yeah, this is it. It says, no evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling, for he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. That's his tattoo, one of them. Now, I don't know if there's another one. I don't think he has it. He does have another
one that was talked about in relation to
yeah,
but I don't know what it was, and I don't know if it was ever verified either.
Right. So, but how would he not know about the hospital trip? That's the whole timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
And if he's
talking, then he also said that the boys were swimming with them that day, and then he also says that the boys were with Dawn at work, and so
that's another part.
Which is it?
We're getting into that part coming up. He's going to say that the boys were with Candace and Summer and Grandma and Hunter swimming that day, and they were at work with Dawn. Can't be both. That's just weird to me.
And from what we know, it was neither.
Yeah. And the flowers were put in pots, not in the ground.
Yes, exactly.
That's true. Very true. Go back over and listen to this.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the things that Candace had said was that she had gone to the emergency room that morning. So I mean, not that afternoon or evening. It was earlier in the day. But I just didn't know about the knee thing, because I'll be very honest. You could have a hurt knee and you could still watch somebody else planting flowers, and I would include them in it, or I would. You know, maybe I'm standing up and planting flowers. I don't know. There's so many explanations to it that that's one of the things.
Or she can sit down in a chair.
Yeah, she could be in a chair, and she, you know, it's but I know she does walk with a limp. She does.
That's okay. Like I said, you probably wouldn't have been able to answer it, but I thought I'd ask anyway, just once again, because I have you here, and if you happen to have the answer, it helps us.
Oh,
go ahead.
There's a rumor I would like to clear up as well too. I mean, I keep seeing everyone keeps saying it all over, of course, but that Don and Candace took a lie detector test. Now, did they both pass it?
Yes, they have both passed her lie
detector. Did they take it once or twice?
I know that when Don took his, he told me they gave him like 3 or 4 different lie detector tests all in the same day. And he passed. Then the first time that Candace took her lie detector test, and this is what she told me. Okay, she said that she was very tired, and the investigator who was, giving the exam to her, obviously she was just, very nervous. She did tell me that there were a couple of areas that showed deception, and they talked to Candace about it, and they said, tell you what, they contributed it to her maybe being tired, and she was very stressed out because they had been interviewed for hours and hours and hours. So what they told Candace to do, said, tell you what, we want you to go home for the weekend, and on Monday we want you to come back. And that's what she did. She came back on that Monday, I believe it was a Monday, and she passed with flying colors.
All right, so just discuss that part. Dawn is the one that was tired,
He said that he kept falling asleep while taking the lie detector test.
but he passed that day. That is true.
Yes,
Candace didn't show signs of deception. It was inconclusive.
because she was so upset because whenever they came to get her to do the lie detector test, they put her in the back of a cop car, and she felt like she was in trouble. Is what she told us.
Holy
basically.
moly, it's not according to Dawn. We know that firsthand from people that were investigating too, and we know that they had set up a second polygraph test for Dawn and Candace, who were both willing. They were going to pay out of their pocket. I think it was $600 a piece for polygraph tests, and Dawn in Knoxville, and the person who was going to give the polygraph test to them said, why are you questioning this? You got one of the best polygraph people in the nation that did her test. So
if I recall correctly, they were already on their way to Knoxville to have it to do it that day. And the guy called them and said, we don't need to do this. They both passed. There's no need for us to redo it. You had one of the best in the country.
That's true. Now, I'm not saying that now Candace has a lot of things that are very questionable in her behavior. We've said that she's always been weird about talking about the day that Summer went missing. It's very strange. And I'm not saying that their lifestyle didn't bring people around that could have allegedly done something to hurt Summer, take Summer, something to that effect. But I'm saying that there's people in this church that are acting strange and saying things that don't make sense as well. And we're going to go through and go. We're going to start at the beginning if we have to. I wanted to go over this part because I've learned new things about him that I am. See, I just learned that he gave Robin a ride out to the wells that evening, because she made it out like that she was at the recital and she had to come later. She couldn't answer the phone, and David was out there, as I said prior, multiple times in this live. But how was she talking to David Dotson, and why?
Well, let's think about that. Why, when Candace could not get a hold of Robin, why did she call David?
Why was Summer, Dawn says in the behavior panel interview, why was she around David a lot? It doesn't make sense. And then there's the picture or video of her in church with David Dotson doing sign language of Cookie to her, and she looks scared to death. You got the picture? Oh, here we go. She got the pictures.
There's two pictures.
Hold on.
So I kept telling you, go look at the email. I had a surprise.
Awesome. I'm glad you got them. Where are they? Up here. Okay. I'm going to unshare this for just a second. We'll come back to it.
And I know you guys in the chat were talking about that earlier. That's one reason that I went and got those pictures, because I wanted us to be able to talk about that and cover that.
Here they are. Nobody's been able to find these for a while, so I'm glad awesome. You found them. Great. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'm going to full screen this so y'all can see it. This is David. He's doing sign language. They said that it means cookie. As you can see, Summer with Robin looking at him like, what in the world? Let me go to the next one. This has always been weird to me. Now, why is this camera pointed over here?
Right.
They said,
We were told by,
by
another
Pennington,
AF Pennington.
A.F. Pennington said these cameras were over the whole congregation and this creator zoomed in on them. But this one's pointed right at her.
Right, that's not pointed. And usually, if you're filming a church service, you're going to be filming the stage or the pulpit, the altar. This is turned, looks like towards the back, because it looks like they're sitting pretty far back in the pews. So,
And look at her; she's not smiling.
no.
And
think about how happy Summer normally was at church and how she just kind of wandered around from person to person, place to place. She is right there.
JW, you're very, very, you're picking up what we're putting down. That's all I'm going to say. I didn't say it.
Didn't say anything.
Didn't say nothing. You can take your own. Listen, just deduce and read between the lines.
Right.
But look at, and then she's, inadvertently introduces him to his current wife.
Yes.
I don't know. He's JW said, I've been saying that for over a year now. Well, you were right on. Allegedly. Okay. Is there another one? There's three?
There's two.
Two? Just those two?
No, that's one picture. Right
no,
there.
I went.
Oh, did you do
yeah.
the other? Okay. Yeah, just those two. Sorry, I threw my phone at you.
You did.
Did not mean to do that.
All right, so there's those pictures. Let me go back here, and we're gonna. So there, I'm glad y'all got to see those. Thank you. I'm gonna look over those even better when we're done. That's awesome. Let's go back and listen to what he's going to continue to say. Okay.
I agree. Broken spoke. I agree. Nobody has ever been able to answer that. And I feel that that's very odd.
I feel the same thing. If there's multiple cameras, whatever it is, who is the cameraman?
Yeah.
Because they pay a lot of attention to Summer, in my opinion. I really felt that way.
Right. I mean, we were told that it was not the church that zoomed in on Summer. It was the creators that did that. But from what I recall, in the very beginning, it didn't. It was actually the church cameras that just kind of seemed to follow her around.
Disappearing thumb trick, does that mean he's a... No, that's not what anybody say. He's doing sign language for Cookie. But whatever he's doing with his hands, Summer does not look very entertained by it.
Right.
She looked kind of scared, in my opinion. I'm going to push play.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you for clearing that up, because that was
you're welcome. And I know that some folks are going to say, "Oh, she showed deception." She showed some deception on two items, but I think if it was serious enough, they would not have.
Yes, very specific.
Did law enforcement actually tell?
He got very, yeah.
He said he showed deception on 2 items. Where did that come from?
Yeah, he was very, very specific.
Yeah.
2 items. And it wasn't deception, it was inconclusive.
Right.
Huh.
Interesting.
Let's remember, too, about what Dave Rader said. When he came, he said that they felt like, on his interview, Killer Looks has it, at the end of one of his videos of their videos, their husband and wife team as well, at the end of one of their videos, that Dave Rader says they felt like this had gotten too big. Whoever could have allegedly taken Summer, and this has gotten too big in the media, and they came and dropped her back off in the woods. He said that.
Always set very odd to me. Because how do you come up to that with that conclusion? And we're talking about when the footprints were found. It was stated, Dave Rader himself said just what Cam just said. That's crazy to me.
Phoebe Downs, the cameraman may show so much of Summer to let people know they allow kids to run around during church. What does that have to do with it, though? They allow kids to run around during church. Actually, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, there was somebody that said in here, they are in a comment that was on our video, said that they are very strict and they usually don't allow that.
And I could see that being kind of strict because it seems like, I don't want to say strict, but they seem to be very structured for the children. Let me say that, because if you go back and you watch videos, they seem to teach the kids how to play lots of instruments. There's videos of the kids playing like xylophones and like violins, and so they seem to have a lot of structure there for the children who are a part of the church. So Summer, if you go back and you watch, Summer's really the only kid that's running around.
Yeah. And somebody said, JW said they would show Summer run, then they would pan over to Candace.
Right, to kind of show
that it's like they're documenting something.
Right.
Now, I know there's claims of the church and making reports. I'm just going to say that. That's all I'm going to get into.
Yeah.
As far as I'll go, I'm just going to say that. Here we go.
Tell them they passed.
Yes, because you actually get a report and everything that gets mailed to you is what they told me. So yes, now law enforcement didn't tell me, but they told them is what they told me.
Like I said, I appreciate you helping clear that one up because I think that was a big one too.
Oh yes.
Do you happen to know, we have a lot of people that are in chat right now that are from that area, and they want to know if there's a place they can go pick up flyers?
So Teresa Sutton said they may just be showing the clips that they have of Summer. No, these were actually just
the sermons.
Sermons. Like, I mean, there was creators that played the entire sermons.
Yeah, they were showing the whole church service and
from beginning to end, and the cameras went to Summer a lot.
That they can have to hand out, or is there any?
We are working on that as we speak. And the way that we have planned this is that as the media starts, kind of, not reporting on Summer as much, that's when we want to go out there and start blasting all these flyers out. So what I can do, Melissa or Teresa, I can contact you and let you know when we do have the flyers. We do have a printing company that has offered to print flyers for us.
D&D printing. Thank you for telling. She said that is what they told me. The church told you that they were showing that. That's weird. That's strange. Thank you for sharing that, though. Here we go.
So having several banners printed, like 4x8 banners, and we're working on that right now to put up around the area. But what I'll do is once I have a solid, a day and kind of a solid time frame for you, I'll be more than happy to contact y'all. That way you can get to your viewers.
That would be great. Yeah, because we have, like I said, once again, people out there, they want to go pass out flyers. So is there like a strategy, like a person who came up with the idea that the flyers should wait until media dies down? I've never heard that one before, so that's actually just for my own information.
Yeah, we had spoke with the family and everything about talking about when would be the best time to send out the flyers, and then we were thinking that once we get them made, it's probably going to take a few days. Hopefully, we're hoping that to have those up and running here in the next.
PB, I was just saying thank you for sharing that, because she is the only kid that we saw running around with Summer was. Maybe there was another one clip, I think. But what says Allie, how can I send you a clip? You can send it to Cracking Cases.
at gmail.com.
Here, I'll put it across the bottom so you can see it. It's CRACKIN cases at gmail.com. Here it goes. It'll be scrolling right there across the bottom. Okay.
Few days.
Okay.
And I wish I could give you a time frame. It's not like we were saying, "Hey, we're going to wait."
What?
So Zoots and Boots asked if it was AB and Tiffany that were showing the church sermons. I specifically remember Jay's for Justice showing them.
Zav Girl.
And Zav Girl, yeah, those two. And then Laced in Perfume said maybe A.F. Pennington. From what I recall, it was Jay's for Justice and Zav Girl is where I saw the majority of the clips of not clips, but the church sermons and services.
All right. Here we go. Oh.
A month or so. It wasn't like that. But
No, I just didn't know if there was like a strategy type person that comes in and like says, "Hey, this is kind of the best way to go about things," because I'd never heard that one before, so it's just new to me.
Yeah, it was just just us having just an open mind discussion, because it was it's very high on the media out here right now, and we were just trying to figure out when would be the best time, and that's why we've gone ahead and are getting the flyers, we're getting the banners made, because hopefully, like I said, in the next few days we'll be ready to start passing those out. But I'll definitely get back with you. That way you can let viewers know an exact time frame.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Let me think if there's anything else. I know we've kept you a long time. We said we'd keep you only about 45 minutes. So I know that we cannot thank you enough for coming on and just helping spread awareness.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. And like I said, we want to keep Summer's story out there. We don't want Summer's story to if you will. We just want to keep her out there and just keep her fresh on people's minds. And in any way we can do that, we're wanting to do it.
Perfect. I'm gonna try to take a few questions from the chat for you, or from. Oh my gosh, I got all tongue tied all of a sudden.
It's okay.
I'm gonna take a few questions from the chat for you. And let's see. People are wanting to know, in your opinion, what can they do to help?
At this time, believe it or not, we're asking for prayer, obviously, and remember this family in prayer. Remember this family in your thoughts. There have been several people asking what the family needs at this time. The family is their food are good. They've got clothing needs. Really, what they're really needing right now, and I spoke to Dawn the other day, is firewood.
Okay.
They usually this is the time of year that Dawn starts collecting firewood because to help heat their home during the winter.
Allie had it. Her memory was on point. She said,
as soon as they
prayers
asked,
and firewood.
Yeah, as soon as they asked what do they need, I said prayers and firewood. That always stood out to me, because the first time we went up there was a huge pile of firewood at the bottom of the hill.
The bottom of the hill.
Yep.
Remember, tell him what you said though. It's like he was trying to be the spokesperson.
Yeah, it's what makes him so odd. I would like to think that he's a very good guy, and that that he really was just trying to help, and that he thought that he could maybe help, distract the boys from everything that's going on. And I really would like to think that, but it's weird because he made himself out to be a spokesperson for the family,
controlling the information,
right? Controlling the narrative, if you will.
And he didn't even have it right.
Out of nowhere, he just disappears, never to be heard from again. Well, I mean, of course, he did a couple little things here and there. His daughter did a couple interviews, but it's just weird. Like, you were so involved, and then you're just gone.
Just gone, just out of there. Hey, Natasha. Good to see you. Yeah, we started. I don't even know how long we've been live. I'm right at 2 hours. It's okay. I guess we're gonna have to have a part 3 because this is a lot, and we'll just do it tomorrow for sure. Tomorrow, say it.
Tomorrow.
For
I'm telling
sure.
Cam, we're going to start doing this more frequently.
And we got a new way of we're gonna do things. Like I told you at the beginning, if people missed it, we're gonna do highlights. We're gonna stay current in news. We're gonna do things. Then we're gonna have our subject at the end. It's gonna last like an hour and a half, like we always have, and it's gonna be daily. We got to get back on top of things. Keep our minds focused and do what we feel like we were, or led in our heart to do.
Right.
We appreciate each and every one of y'all. We'll finish that tomorrow. We got another video to show you, and then we'll discuss it. We'll open the panel or something, or we'll have the call-in line open. I got my computer back, my desktop. The hard drive was not in it when they first sent it.
Gosh.
Then they sent me a new hard drive. I put it in
We
and
got the same.
have the same
error
thing,
code.
error code happening. Then they said, go take it to a private repair place. HP told me this.
After they had the computer in their possession, they told us to take it to a local repair shop.
Take it to a local repair shop and then send them the invoice and they would pay for it. I'm like, are you serious? This is crazy.
It's been a mess.
I
never expected such stuff from HP, but
yeah.
Oh well.
Let's pray and let's roll. Dear Lord, thank you for everything you do. We ask for answers for Summer. Lord, we don't mean to go at anybody in a negative way. We're just going over things they said that when they were in the middle of this little girl's investigation, speaking out, and sometimes the information doesn't add up. Stories don't ever seem to match. Lord, we're just asking for discernment and to maybe find what happened to Summer. And if she simply walked away, Lord, we ask that you just let somebody come across whatever they need to, and to bring answers to this case and to the family and to her brothers. Lord, we ask for all the missing children and all the cases that are happening. There's towns of, where children are going missing and by the bunches, huge numbers, and they're not getting reported on. And there's no reason, nobody's saying anything. God, we ask that you protect our babies, protect our children, and just let us be proactive. Let our government fight against this. Let somebody who is ready to take on the real problems of our nation, take them serious and go after them. Lord, we ask for just again protection over anybody and everybody out there that have children who are vulnerable. Just Lord, put a hedge of protection over all your children, all your over the people that follow you, Lord. I pray, Lord, thank you for loving us when we don't necessarily deserve it, Lord. And we pray all these things in your mighty name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, guys. Remember, at the end of the day, everybody wants justice, but justice doesn't have to be. I said your part. Oh, remember, at the end of the day, everybody wants justice.
But justice doesn't have to be carried out with hate.
There it is. We're done. Till next time. Keep on cracking. I'm Cam. That's Allie. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.
And we are gone.